Hey, how we doing? It's JJ. Let's hope I don't get smoked out. How are we all doing? How are we all doing? We're one whole year into lockdown. What an absolutely crazy thought that is just there. Who would have ever have just dreamed we'd still be in this situation 1 year down? And for me, it's quite touching. It's quite poignant. You know, I spend a lot of time by myself in the woods, and I'm really comfortable with my own company. And of course, it goes without saying that I miss camping. Yeah, proper overnight camps. Camp meetups were really good friends that we regularly camp with and we regularly meet up with, and it's brilliant. We all share duties around a campfire, cooking and getting a fire going, and we have a good laugh and we chat and we catch up, and hopefully that's going to happen again soon. But I want to show you this. Let's get a bit closer. I want to show you this, okay? This is not a knife review, but this is the story behind the knife, okay? Just as a train goes past in the distance. If only it was a steam train. Never mind. The story behind this knife. I got this about 4 years or so ago from my dad. And this is the Healy Helle Egan, okay, stainless steel, curly birch, a fantastic knife. What's the story? What's the relevance behind this? Now, obviously, to keep myself in shot, I'm filming in selfie mode, but I will put a picture up of this. You can't see it, obviously it's going to be reversed. It's not even going to show it. It's not even going to show it. I'll put a picture up, okay? This has etched into it a saying, a phrase. My dad gave this to me for my birthday about 4 years ago. Bloody fire, he's smoking me out. I got this for my birthday about 4 years ago. I had a knife before that. It was a Bear Grylls ultimate survival knife. And that, it was a bit of a gaudy, tacky looking thing, but it served a purpose. In fact, it threw a spark off the back of the spline better than any other knife I've come across so far. But, you know, it's a Bear Grylls knife from Gerber, nothing fancy. Me and my dad had been out to this wood where we are right now a couple of months previous during the winter. And on the way back to dropping Dad back at his place, just the other side of Bedford, we stopped in Go Outdoors. We love a bit of Go Outdoors. We always pick things up, and I went and looked at the knife section, and I'd already looked at this knife. I'd already seen it in another Go Outdoors down my way. But Dad took a bit of time to ask me some questions. We had to look at the other knives, and he asked me about those. And that was it. Might have brought a couple of other bits and off he wandered. A couple of months later, Dad turns up and there's a present. Now, it was a round tube. It comes in a round tube. And I thought, nice, Dad, you got me a tin of Pringles. I opened it. Wow. The Helle box. I open it and it's this knife, the Egan. Beautiful little knife. It really is. To say, this is not a review on the knife, but this is a beautiful little knife. And when I saw the inscription on one side of the blade, it became apparent. And the inscription says on this blade, from pupil to teacher. Now, what's the story behind that? What's the relevance behind that? My dad taught me so much. He really did, right from a very early age. You know, I've talked about my dad before, and I do wax lyrical about him, but he's the most influential person I've ever had in my life, and he still continues to be that person to me today. Known by many as Mick the Hat or Mookie. Some of you may have met him at the Bushcraft show a couple of times. We've been there and at other camp meetups. Everybody loves my dad. But my dad taught me everything. My dad let me run amok as a kid. I was a feral kid, you know. We used to live on the edge of town and I'd just disappear off into the countryside. I would break things, Dad would fix them, and if I broke them again, Dad would say, I'd showed you how to do it last time, crack on son, do it yourself. He always had his massive shed with tools and things like that. He had books on nature and wildlife. Dad gave me air pistols to shoot as a young kid, which is something I've just got back into again, as you know. I had air rifles. Dad would take me off to camps. Dad would take me off on holidays and just let me climb up cliffs and swim in the sea with almost like a complete disregard for my own safety. And my mum used to go mad, but my dad just said, let him be. He's happiest when he's running free. Dad continued to teach me as I grew older. Dad is, you know, he's still with us. You know, I'm not talking about him in a past sense, but Dad has always instilled in me a love and respect for the outdoors and nature. Dad is an extremely knowledgeable person, and as I've got more into this journey of the bushcraft and the wild camping in the last few years, I've pulled Dad back into that side, and I've continued to push forwards. I've continued to learn. I've been on courses. I've met some amazing people. I read manuals, I read books, I go to talks, I go to events, I go to shows, and I pick up knowledge. And a little while ago, like Dad said, you know, you've taken on my mantle, you know more than me. I'm like, Dad, I could never know more than you. He says, in terms of the outdoors, you know more than me. And now it's Dad that sits there and listens and learns from me. But it's not just that, it's my love for doing this, getting me out there, that I want to share that knowledge with other people. Listen, I know about this much, there are others that know that much, and there are others that know that much. But whatever knowledge you've got, whatever skill set you've got, share it with others, pass it on. I've got my own little Facebook group going now of about 500 people, and it's a real close-knit, tight-knit community. I work with other small little groups and that, and I love sharing that knowledge. There are some amazing people out there, and I tap them up for info. I ask questions and I continue to learn. But people ask me stuff, and if I know it, I generally answer back and I tell them, this is my honest opinion, this is what I know about that product, or this is what I know about this shrub or that plant, or whatever it is, nature, wildlife, tracking, animal signs, fungi. But it never stops, that journey never stops. So from pupil to teacher, what an amazing symbol. What an amazing saying behind this knife, because if it wasn't for my dad, I wouldn't have this knife. If it wasn't for my dad instilling in me that quest for knowledge, that quest for adventure, for getting out, asking questions, and making the most of the outdoors, and that love for nature, I wouldn't be here now. And now I want to continue that legacy on. You know, I want to share what I've learned with others, from pupil to teacher. I've got a lot of other knives in my collection, but this is the most precious one to me because it's from my dad, and there was a reason behind me getting it. Not just only for my birthday, but for what it symbolises. And I hope you get something from this, and I continue to get stuff from my dad. Listen, that's enough from about me. The Hele Egan knife, from pupil to teacher. Share your knowledge, pass on, learn, live, respect, and enjoy the outdoors, and just share it with other people. Listen, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch up again soon. See you later.